YTBC student. Now, that is the youngest, baddest uploader who has stepped foot and touched buttons on this thing and has made total sense. And I tell you something, I've seen a lot of them come and go. But YTBC student has now graduated into the midst of the masters.
A season for all things. A time to live and a time to die. A time to build and a time to destroy.
Time to play the game. Time to play the game.
What up, everybody who talks boxing, comments about boxing, and makes boxing videos? Once again, from my usual studio as of late, aka my car, really want to talk about this fight with Kovalev and Ward. This is a fight that has been built up for pretty much over a year. And after over a year, we finally are going to see this fight tomorrow. A lot of people doubted that Ward would actually even take the fight. I didn't take part in that narrative, but I couldn't blame those who thought that either, because there were many fights that fell through with Ward. There's many fights, there was even the Alexander Brand fight, if I'm not mistaken, was made before he fought Barrera, and then it ended up he ended up getting injured. He backed out of the fight because of an injury. And if I'm not mistaken, if I remember correctly, that fight was supposed to happen on the undercard of Canelo Cotto, or Cotto Canelo, whoever you consider A side, really doesn't matter. But bottom line is that fight was supposed to take place on that undercard, and he backed out because of an injury. So a lot of people thought that he was going to pull something like that on this fight, and it's the day before, so I doubt that you have to worry about that. Nobody has failed VADA testing. I don't really, excuse me. I don't really know if they're even using testing for this fight now that I think of it. But I'm going to have to check with Strictly Boxing News, because he's on top of that. If there's VADA testing being used for a fight, he normally knows about it. But anyways, a lot of people doubted Ward would even take the fight, and now here we are. It's about to happen, and I have to say, it puts a smile on my face. So both men going into this fight should have plenty of confidence. So mentally, I think we're going to get as good as it's going to get. Well, no, I take that back. Maybe Kovalev could have a little bit more confidence, but a lot of people were saying that in the Chilemba fight, he didn't look as good as he normally does. So, maybe he could be a little bit more confident, had it been after like the Pascal fight, where he completely just destroyed Pascal. I mean, Freddie Roach had mercy on Pascal ending that fight. He just couldn't take it, Granted, he looked like he didn't want to be there himself. Roach, that is. Roach, I don't think should have trained him for that fight, because he looked like he didn't even want to train him. And I heard all kinds of negative things that he told Pascal going into the fight. So, but anyways, this isn't about that fight. So, but yeah, Kovalev probably could be a little bit better when it comes to the momentum. I mean, I probably shouldn't say confidence. I don't think his confidence has really been tainted by his performance with Chilemba, but his momentum definitely has. Now, Ward has a good amount of momentum going into this fight because, you know, of the Alexander Brand fight. But that momentum is still not the greatest momentum, and it's simply because Alexander Brand is a junior middleweight. That fight really didn't tell us anything other than what we already know, which is Ward is the king of junior middleweight. And he didn't even clear it out. There's still plenty of guys there that he could still fight. And I'm pretty sure they would give him problems. So, James DeGale mainly. But I think he also still had a good amount of momentum from beating Barrera. And I think Barrera was a step in the right direction. When he fought Barrera, I was very, very proud that he did that. And even more so, how easily he seemed to beat Barrera. So, I really think that he messed up by taking a step backwards fighting a junior middleweight. He would have been better off fighting another... even if he would have fought Yuneski Gonzalez, that would have been better than him fighting Alexander Brand. But, I mean, it is what it is. I think he's, could have had a lot more momentum going into this fight. But, I mean, bottom line is momentum isn't going to win the fight all on its own either. So, here we are. We're finally going to get this fight. And there's been, after a lot of these fights that have been canceled, a lot of these fights that have been talked about and that have fallen through, the PEDs, guys getting busted for PEDs, guys vacating their belts to avoid fights, guys vacating their belts because they got caught with the yayo. It's nice to see that probably the most exciting fight out of all of them is actually happening. So, it's time, people. I'm going to go ahead and make my prediction and tell you why. See, this is a very hard call. This is a very hard fight to call. And, I mean, I think everybody can agree. You have both fighters that don't have a blueprint yet. And after tomorrow, unless there's a draw, there will be for one of them. After this buildup, which one is going to have that blueprint to be destroyed? After all this buildup, who would I pick? I mean, Ward, he's very good at taking away his opponent's best weapons. And I thought the Barrera fight was going to be closer than it ended up being. To me, I don't think it was close at all. But then you got Kovalev, who will normally toy around with his opponent, punishing them almost to the point where the opponent themselves is like, okay, the ref either needs to stop this, my corner needs to throw in the towel, because I don't want to look like the one who ended the fight. Like that's how a lot of his fights seem a lot of the time. And I mean, he breaks opponents' noses, he has killed a man. So I mean, this is a tough fight to call. But if I had to put my money on someone, if someone basically bet raped me, held a gun to my head and said, you better put some money on this fight and pick a fighter. Somebody did that to me, I would have to go with Kovalev. That's just my pick. But really, this fight is a 50-50 fight. And I believe that. So I wouldn't count Ward out. We just have to wait and see. This is really going to be the perfect storm. Now, if you want a good conversation about this fight that you want to listen to, check out Shady Slim. He did a hangout earlier this week. I wanted to be a part of it, but I ended up being busy. I ended up not being available at the time that they were doing that hangout. So, but I still think if you haven't seen it, I'm pretty sure everybody who is subscribed to me is either subscribed to Shady Slim or at least checks out his videos from time to time. But I definitely recommend that you check it out. It's an hour and 45 minutes of nothing but talk about this fight. Main ways, to all my subscribers, anybody who watches my videos, or if you just so happen to stumble on this video, leave a comment. Let me know who you think is going to win this fight. Oh, you know what? I think I forgot to give my reasons why. The reason why I picked Kovalev is I just think he's a different breed of what Ward has come up against. I don't think Ward has really prepared himself properly for this fight with the opposition that he's taken on up until this point. And when I say up until this point, I'm not talking about Super 6. I'm talking about as of recent. I don't think he's, there's that old saying, iron sharpens iron. And I think, I don't think he's been using quality iron. I think he's been using scrap metal. But we'll see. Ward is also of another breed, so we'll see what happens tomorrow. But leave a comment. Let me know who you think is going to win and why. And you have a wonderful and blessed day. Peace.